Honestly, I'm watching the live stream right now and I would be able to hear audio from my headphones. So doesn't seem like it's still working. Hey, wait.
Yeah,
Wait, it's working now. Yep.
they were. I checked mark the
Yep.
share sound, and I think that's what's there. Is it working now? Working now? Sorry, this is like the first
Recording
time.
in progress.
Oh, who's recording? Oh, it says, please ask the host to give permission to record.
Okay.
No sound.
We're in there.
It's working now. You guys can hear me? Hear us? Yeah, they're all saying you can hear us.
All right.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys.
Wow. Thank you, guys. So yeah, we had some audio issues. This is actually the first time us going live on this channel, Direct Thought Feed. Please show us your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. We are going to get deep into the conflict between Ukraine and how this whole Ukraine situation is a major conflict in the world and how that's going to basically start World War III. And we're going to be talking about possible scenarios on how that's going to happen. We're also going to be talking about possible invasions in the United States, how they could possibly invade the United States, if that's even possible. I have a theory. I would like to share it, so I'll be telling you guys about that. We also got the Anonymous. We'll be talking about what the Anonymous has declared war on Russia and Putin. We'll definitely go into details about that. And we'll also be looking at what Biden has to say in his State of the Union address. So thank you guys. If you guys have any questions in the live chat, feel free to ask. We will look at them and review them. We will try to answer any questions if we get time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. So we got series of conflicts here. As you see, these are on the website here, cfr.org, the Council on Foreign Relations. These will all be cited down in the description, so you guys can easily find them. We got the conflict in Ukraine. We also got the confrontation between the United States and Iran. We got the war in Afghanistan, the North Korean crisis, tensions in the East China Sea, which we could probably say that's the invasion in Taiwan, and the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. So yeah, guys, what you guys would like to talk about first? The Red Sea. So let's get right into the juiciness. The confrontation between the United States and Iran. Yeah. I was about to say, what are you talking about, bro? All right, so you want to talk about the confrontation between the United States and Iran?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get right into it. Yeah, thanks for all the support for our first live stream.
Yes. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so that way you get notified every time we go live. For entertainment, yeah. There we go. Oh yeah, that's the thing I wanted to share. Was the thing I shared on with you on Telegram about the Iran thing. Let me pull that one up so we could share that. Where did I send that? Maybe I sent that to you on your phone, didn't I? Damn it. Okay, here we go.
I don't want you seeing this at all. So you.
What up? Oh, dude, they took it down. They took down the video, man.
No.
Really?
Do you think that's true or not? The look on your face. Yeah.
I
But
can't find.
is it really odd in these times though? I mean, can we say, I mean, that's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Iran situation. So what do you guys think about Iran? I know Iran's obviously does have a stance. I saw something on TikTok about I can't find the video now, but the Iranian president was basically saying that the United States is responsible for the Ukraine situation between the Ukraine and Russia. So what do you guys think on that? You think Iran is right on that, or did
Well, how are they responsible for it? Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you find truth to that? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I I would just say, whether America is responsible for it or not. I mean, that we just know that Iran has a stance, and it seems like they are against the United States, and they are picking the side of Russia. Yep. Yeah, it says Iran will continue to enrich uranium to 20% even after a revived deal on Iran's nuclear energy. Right.
So
Right.
what is the situation between the two countries today? That's what, yeah. Rose Santos asked, what is the situation between the two countries today?
So it says 21 million barrels per day of oil transiting Strait of Hormuz in 2018. Looks like there's the world's most important oil transit choke point. I know there's sanctions in Iran, like we can't do business with Iran. Yeah, Persian Gulf. Yeah, it's the most important oil transit choke point. Right. Right. But they, if World War III does break out, then they will get, they're going to get involved. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go into the next one. We got conflict in Ukraine, North Korea, which we were going to save the Ukraine one for last, right? So we'll do, we got North Korea crisis, tensions in the East China Sea, that's Taiwan, and territorial disputes in the South China Sea.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm trying to. I got you. Yeah.
Oh, we also got the war in Afghanistan too, which, I mean, that's, yeah, zero number of US troops remaining. Still a critical, the conflict status has
Was
worsened.
worsening.
Yes, there's a civil war. Taliban has taken over. Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, I think the reason why we pulled out of Afghanistan is because of what's happening now. I think Biden had, yeah, yeah, and yeah, I mean, the main reason why we went to Afghanistan is because we wanted the opium fields. I mean, that's it just came down to making money off of opium and yeah, you know, yeah. So Taliban was against growing opium. In fact, they're burning the fields, and that's the whole reason why we had to send military force there. And now we pulled away because for some reason that we realize, this is my theory, is I think that even
Our
though
sound's going out.
signs.
Sound.
Hear me?
Your sound is not stable. Sometimes your sound gets cut off. Is it all of our sounds or?
It's probably me. So the reason why Biden pulled out was because the reason why he pulled out the way he did is because we actually have a more serious threat on the table, and that's China and Russia. And just being in Afghanistan was just would weaken our
Lost sound.
defense against the bigger threat. There's this bigger fish to fry now. So Afghanistan is kind of just on the back burner for now.
I believe
Until
we lost sound.
Deal with exactly.
I believe we lost sound. I can't hear you. Yes, your audio is unstable.
Audio working? Keep safe, everyone. Praying for safety. Hope you are okay. What are your thoughts about Ukraine and Russia's war? Yeah, we're gonna get to that, guys. Let's go ahead and get to North Korea. Yep. What do you think? Do you think they can get? How are they going to get involved in World War III? Yeah. Apparently, they have one of the largest armies in the world too. They have 44.5 million reserved in the military. Pretty much everybody there has to fight. Right. Nobody knows. Yeah. I would say that our intelligence capabilities are advanced enough to know exactly what North Korea is doing, at least have an idea. Right. Oh.
I mean, people have been saying that it's been going in and out.
It's probably nothing we can do about it. North Korea conducted 6 nuclear weapon tests. That was in 2017. So they have nuclear weapons. Though Trump did meet with Kim Jong-un, first American president. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sounds. It's probably because we're just not always talking.
No, it's
So
not
we-
working. No. There's no
Are you-
audio right now.
You're testing it? Probably because we're just not always talking. It's working on my end.
It's very laggy. It's working now, but it's kind of laggy. And
Yeah,
But-
it's always gonna have a lag.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's working now.
We're good. So yeah, let's go into the North Korea. How are they gonna get involved? Do you think there's a threat that they will invade South Korea?
Why?
And China supports North Korea. Shit, North Korea is like China's little stepchild. Yeah. Little brother or child. Yeah, there you go. Anything more we want to add on that one? So this is the criminal violence in Mexico, the cartels.
So
Instability in
I don't think
Venezuela.
they can hear your audio, James. That's why they're confused. Yeah. Because I haven't heard you talk on the stream yet.
So,
So I've been-
Capsulated, go click on more and click on share sound. You have to make sure it's check marked on the Zoom.
Where?
Go to more and then make sure the share sound is
Where's more at?
on the Zoom where it says like mute, stop video, participate, chat, news, share, pause. There's like that bar. Click on more, and then it's going to show record, reactions, and you just go down to share sound.
Yeah, mine's full screen. All that's already on my stuff.
Oh, you don't have more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Dap, would we have maybe a better time or an easier time streaming on through you?
Is that what they asked?
No, I'm
that's
asking that.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I don't know. If we haven't done it before, it might be the same problem.
Maybe
I
a
was gonna
better
say
time
I shouldn't have to
or an
share
easier time
my
streaming
audio
on through you.
because I'm hosting.
Yeah, is that what they asked?
No, I'm
that's
asking that.
Oh, I mean,
Can you guys hear me now?
maybe. I don't know. If we haven't done it before,
Let me
it
know if you
might
guys.
be the same problem.
Let me know if you can hear my audio now. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe
I
a
was
better
gonna say
time
I shouldn't have to
or an
share
easier time
my
streaming
audio
on through you.
because I'm hosting.
Dude, I could hear. Dude,
Yeah.
don't listen to the chat, man. They're clowning. Dude, they are clowning. I could hear you just fine.
I was just able to hear you. I couldn't hear you before that, but okay.
Our audio is fine, guys. All right, so getting back to it. Tensions in the East China Sea. We got territorial disputes in the South China Sea and conflict in Ukraine. Let's talk about the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. So what do you guys think? Yep. And doesn't China have like islands being built, like man-made islands in that area? And they're building military bases there. Wow, we have 29 likes now on the video. 26 people watching. Ooh.
So they attempted those islands. I guess they didn't anticipate coastal erosion or waves, and those islets didn't last.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so what do you think the misdirection is? Well, I guess we'll get to that point when we get there, because we haven't talked about Taiwan yet. But obviously Taiwan being in that area, but China believes they pretty much own all of that sea.
Most of it, yes. They're about 75%. I was.
Yeah. Like most international, like they're like you own like the 50 miles off the coastland. China thinks they own all of it, and the rest of the countries own like none of the coast.
Yeah, because they want to tax people to go in and out.
Yep. Tensions between China, both the Philippines and Vietnam have recently cooled, even as China increased its military activity, which, military in China is significantly has gone up. It is now the third most powerful military in the world, behind Russia and the United States.
A butt ton the last 2 years in military.
Yes. So get into that. Let's talk about the tensions in East China Sea and Taiwan.
Well, yeah, China and the United States are always involved in every territorial war. They're the two superpowers. It's inevitable. Two alpha males in the same room? Or alpha females even, or worse.
So, but why do China want Taiwan?
Why does China want Taiwan? Well,
why does China think Taiwan?
Taiwan was originally a Chinese territory, governed under the monarchy, dynasty, whatever it was, in China during World War II, when the Japanese invaded. And they had a civil war going on as well between the communist and the democratic monarchy, the regime that had been in charge, whatever you want to call it, whatever they proclaim themselves to be. Well, basically, the communists waited out the war and let the nationalists fight it out. And when the nationalists had pretty much beaten off the Japanese, because they had been beaten off, the Japanese had been basically cut off the head by the Americans. So then, once everybody was weakened, the communists came in and swooped in and took over the country. So when that happened, the old regime fled to Taiwan, and that's where they set up their regime in exile. So the communist regime of China believes that the only way to cement themselves as the fully undisputed regime is by taking them out, because you can't legitimize yourself until your predecessor's dead, which is why America has been so adamant on keeping Taiwan alive, because they don't want to legitimize China's communist regime, though now in the modern era they kind of have to because of their economic standings. But if the people wanted the old regime back, they have the rightful claim. So
why is Taiwan a significance to the world?
oh, well, I was about to get to that, but that's what I'm saying. To China, that is an ethnical and cultural significance in their regime. But then the underlying thing is that Taiwan is, I think it was like 70 to 80% producers of superconductors and microchips. So, this last year, you guys have had trouble getting cars, phones, computers, microchips, anything that has electronics in it. You guys have had trouble getting it because of logistics. Ha! Just wait till China owns Taiwan. You won't get nothing. You'll be walking to work if you're lucky. If your job even exists anymore, because half the items in your job don't run anymore because the superconductors aren't coming out. Because China says, you know what? You can't have them. Because we don't have the ability to make those. I mean, we do, but we don't have the capacity to support ourselves.
So you're talking about like not having electronics.
I'm talking EMP over the whole world without having to detonate a single bomb.
Wow.
I mean, that's how serious it is, and people don't realize it.
So that's definitely how World War III could happen.
That is why I think that is the sole reason why it would happen. That would be the only legitimate reason to cause a world war. I mean, yes, Ukraine is a significant thing, and it's terrible. I don't think it should cause world war, though. I don't think it's something we need to cause. I think that's something we could talk out as human beings. But if China was to invade Taiwan, that is a threat to the human race as a whole. Not just NATO, not just Western allies. That's a threat to the human civilization as a whole.
Yeah.
Because you will throw everyone in the dark ages. Because superconductors, like medical supplies, electricity, communication, everything runs on that shit. And that's the problem in this day and age, is that you got all these companies like Coke or Pepsi that have all these micro companies and subcontractors. They own everything. And one of these days, all somebody's got to do is be a bad character and rug pull, like we see in the crypto market, like we see we see it all happen all the time. But all it takes is the wrong person in the wrong place to do that, and it could destroy everything we hold dear. And people don't even realize it could be that easy.
Right. I think it is going to be a serious threat. I mean, especially, Ukraine could just be a distraction for China to, or gives China, kind of a test to see how.
I screw you over here.
Yeah, it's kind of a test to see how the Western world reacts to Russia and
double-edged sword.
That's scary, dude.
Double-edged sword. It's a win-win for them.
Very scary.
They get to test the response, and they get to use that as a distraction. Well, I mean, what's to lose?
Yeah. It's almost like history's repeating itself because, back in World War II, it was Germany and Japan, where now it's going to be Russia against China. It's two front war. The United States and NATO is going to have to fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference here is back in World War II, the alliance there was definitely shaky, a lot shakier, whereas the NATO alliance is a lot more uniform, and it's less of, I got your back kind of a word. It's more of like, we have people that we pay to work on a daily basis in your organization, and we fund you and all this other stuff.
So here we are talking about Ukraine. We've already seen they've taken over the second largest city in Ukraine, right?
Which would be?
No, it would have been Kharkiv, but they haven't taken that over. I'm trying to remember which city they took over. Russia actually took over. I know they've taken over this part here. This is the separatists.
Mariupol?
Yeah.
I think it's Mariupol.
Mariupol?
In the south.
Yeah.
Coastal city.
Or Kherson, yeah. This is it right here. Carson. They took Carson.
What?
Yeah, this is the city. They took it
When did they take that?
today.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
You know why they took that city, right?
Why?
Because that's where the dam is.
Yeah, that's the video you showed me today.
So what are they gonna do with the dam?
The dam that's cutting off the water supply for the Crimea.
Yeah.
When Russia took Crimea,
Oh,
right there.
let's zoom in on this guy. Look at this.
So when Russia took over the Crimea, the Ukrainians had a canal that fed 95% of the water to the Crimea. And when Russia took that over, Ukraine was like, "You're not taking our water for free. You just took over our land." So they dammed it up. And basically,
Oh, guys, news just came in. Ukraine denies that Carson has fallen. So Ukraine is actually saying it has not happened, but who knows what's happening right now.
but I
yeah,
mean, that's
go
why
ahead.
they're going after it, because that's where the dam.
Right.
That's where the dam is.
Yep.
Because the Crimea is talking about rebelling back to the Ukraine because they're not being fed or anything.
It's actually something that I'm gonna not that I'm trying to get off topic here, but something that's actually something I want to bring up and mention is the actual statistics that are being reported by each country. And I wanted to see if you guys what you guys thought about that. Because if you go to Russia-Ukrainian war on Wikipedia, and I'm trying to find this is the military situation as of March 1st, 2022. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Found it. So this is what's being reported, guys. So according to Russia, on March 2nd, they have only lost 498 soldiers. And 1,597 have been wounded. The U.S. officials, and this is as February 28th, reported 1,500 to 2,000 soldiers killed. That's a huge difference. Russia's only reporting 500, where we're reporting 2,000. And then Ukraine is reporting 7,000 dead. They killed 7,000 Russians. So why are the numbers so skewed? Like,
it's
obviously
not even close to uncommon in wartime or in peace and conflict. Each side is going to report different losses which are lower than the actual to project to their people that they're not losing. It's a propaganda tactic.
Yeah, because Ukraine's reporting that they've only lost 110 soldiers. The U.S. is reporting that they lost 1,500, and the Russians are reporting that they've killed almost 3,000.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I mean, there's reports back in World War II of when Germany was losing. They were telling lower-ranking not field officers, but not generals, but lower-ranking commanders and stuff of like losses, and commanders were, after the war, they were like, I don't understand. I thought we had only this many losses, and then they were like, no, dude, you guys lost like 20 times that. Like you guys were lied to. They were lying to their own commanders. So it's not uncommon at all.
Something else I also noticed too is that Wikipedia updated the belligerents, because they were showing a bunch of different countries in here, but then they took them off.
Anybody can go in and edit that stuff, though.
Yep. So
I can go in there and change that whole thing up. So
Well, not
sense.
exactly.
You'd be surprised.
You can, but
It'll get
it'll
fixed. Somebody will fix
it'll
it.
Yeah.
fix. Yeah.
But you could destroy the whole thing momentarily. So
So what
This-
are
go ahead.
oh go out? So what are the significance of invading Ukraine? Why does Russia want to invade Ukraine? What is happening in Ukraine right now?
Well, I mean, it's first thing is it's similar to the situation in Taiwan and China. It's a cultural thing. Putin was born and raised during the Soviet Union. He was upbrought in the Soviet Union. That's what is ingrained in him. That's national pride. That he wants that, even before the Soviet Union, if it was the Russian Empire, it was whatever it was, the land, Belarus, Ukraine, Lithuania, Estonia, Georgia, Armenia, most of that was Russian territory, and those were Russian citizens. And Putin wants that back. He wants that national pride back. He wants that land.
You think
he wants that
it solely
territory.
has to do with pride?
I don't.
Or is it the economic
Well, that's what I'm saying.
factor? to
That's
it?
one of the factors. Like that's just like the least of important to the rest of the world, kind of,
Yeah.
if you would just say. But that's just one of them. Like that would be, I guess, in the justification in his mind to begin the preparations of even thinking about doing all these things. That would be, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there's that. Then you have to think of Dap. If you could scroll up and just show more of Europe. There you go. Thank you. Yes. If you look at the geographical features of the area here, and if you study Operation Barbarossa, which is the invasion of Germany into Russia on January 21st, 1942. Or not January, June, sorry. Ugh. June.
Oh wow, you got off and
Yeah. I was Jays. I was in the Jays though.
yeah, okay.
But if you look at the geographical territory, most of the German troops came up through the Ukraine, through under Belarus, and through the Ukraine because that is a flat area. It's an open plain. Or not. That's mountainous, and then the green is the open plain.
Yeah.
Tripping. Vice versa. Can't talk right now.
Yeah, so a lot of this region and area is just pretty much just tundra. It's not really
It's mountainous.
can't really grow. Yeah, you
uninhabitable.
can't really grow crops.
But there is
So
a valley that leads to Moscow.
And Ukraine actually has one of the largest economies in Europe.
Right. Because Ukraine in the Empire days and the Soviet Union days, the Ukraine was the breadbasket of Russia.
Yep.
Much as the Great Plains is for the United States. So that's another reason.
So with all that being said, I mean, Putin's ultimate goal is to bring back the old Soviet states. That'd be, Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, Romania, Hungary, all of those. But a lot of these have already joined NATO already. In fact, these ones here, the Baltics, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia,
Yeah.
they're in the NATO alliance too. But this is actually Russian.
Yes.
They have a Russian base here. So the only way to get them, so what they could do is the Russian troops, they could actually block this off and they would not have access to NATO. They could block them off.
There's a demilitarized road that goes in between there. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it's a demilitarized zone, but it's to literally transport military troops and supplies to a base.
Right. Yeah. What a coincidence.
Yeah, but
Or
to each their
ironic.
own.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's It's not just that though. It's just strategically valuable for Russia to hold the Ukraine, because if NATO gets a hold of the Ukraine, that's more territory that Russian troops have to hold the line.
Yep.
Also, you know, the Ukraine's got all that oil that was
Yeah.
discovered not too long ago. And Russia being one of the leading providers of oil to most of NATO,
I
mainly
think it's like a
Germany.
good chunk percentage of their GDP is from that oil.
I think it's
So
mostly,
like it would, yeah, exactly. So it would economically affect them
destroy them.
hugely.
It would destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're
And,
seeing.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
And I think that's a huge reason of this conflict is economical.
well, yeah. If somebody's gonna literally, if you own a restaurant, say it's a burger joint, and then McDonald's comes in and is like, hey, I want to build a shop down the street, you're not gonna be too happy about it, or vice
Yeah.
versa. I don't know how that's not a good analogy, but you catch my drift.
So, what I actually think is the United States actually, because there's always a little bit of truth behind everything. So when somebody trying to say that United States was involved in the Ukraine conflict, they possibly could have been. Well, it's possible that our Central Intelligence may be playing the same game that the Russians were doing. Russians were trying to sabotage and brainwash citizens in our country into believing in conspiracy theories. And you had the QAnon incident and Pizzagate. All that stuff was pretty much all being funded by Russian intelligence and from Russian propaganda. And now you're seeing it being played on them, because I think the Ukrainians have been being influenced by the West to join the West. They are being influenced to join the European Union, which they actually did today. They did sign the treaty to join the European Union, and that not the European Union, but also to try to join NATO as well. And this is what is driving Putin crazy, and that's why he is so mad, because Ukraine's divided, and and it's possible, or they're accusing us, the United States, being the ones possibly. I mean, it's a possible situation. I don't know. That's going down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
James, you got that smirk on your face.
I'm trying to
hear
let him
it.
finish his comments before I interrupt. I'm working
Go
on
ahead.
myself. I can't. I just can't fathom how when someone says that the Ukrainian people and stuff has been influenced to join NATO. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, the Ukraine has been a part of the Soviet Union. They are literally right next to Russia. They know what that side of the fence looks like. I mean, it's not like they don't know what that side of the fence looks like, and it's like either side's trying to get them to join, and they've never seen what it's looked like, and they're in the middle. No, they know exactly what it's like over there. They know exactly what they're getting themselves into. They know every little detail. They don't want it. They don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with that.
They want to get with the European Union, and
Yeah.
and I think a lot of it has to do with the economy too. I
think the oil is a real big thing, and somebody in the comments. Let me see if I can find this comment before it just disappears. They said, I don't know why would they want to invade other countries when they're already powerful? Like, bro, can't they live peacefully and just sit in their chair and make rules for their own peaceful and be whatever? I'm not even that was it. That was pretty much it. But the thing to understand is a great proverb is the root of all evil is greed, and or money is root of greed, or something of that nature. I'm not having a good
Root
night.
of all evil.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? You guys know what I'm talking about. I am not
Yeah.
having a good night tonight with the tongue and the talking. But yeah, so the root of evil is greed, and money's nothing but greed creates greed, and so there's never going to be enough for any one sole entity, or there's never going to be enough power, there's never going to be enough wealth, there's never going to be enough. Like, you have people in the world now that have 5 houses, no kids, no nothing, millions of cars, and don't get me wrong, I'm not faulting them for being successful in life, but it's just like, at what point? Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to drive your 40 cars, you're not going to probably live in your 5 houses.
But at the end of the day, it gives those people something to live for, I guess. I'm not trying to justify it, but like that's what they're pushing for. They just want something else
and they
to
work
reach,
for it.
It's just like,
And
oh,
they
what's
work
next?
for it.
What's next?
If that's
What's
what
next?
they want to do with their money and stuff, that's all up to it. But what I was trying to get at is as a country, you have people that are like that, but as a country, it's just always they always have to consume. It's not just you know what I mean? It's never enough. But people that work hard for stuff, eventually you get to that point where, I have 5 houses, I got 40 cars, I'm living good, I'm going to retire, I'm going to relax. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, but what's the fun in being stagnant? What's the point in just
eventually
reaching to a certain point and then just kind of sitting there?
Right.
Of course, you want to work.
The difference between what I'm saying is when you do it successfully, you don't. We're not gonna get into technicalities, but you don't screw people over and kill people and da 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 da.
Yeah.
The problem with countries doing this is most countries, and I'm not saying all, because the United States hasn't been, and I think some Western countries haven't either, but for thousands of years, when you invade a country, the sole reason to invade a country is to plunder their natural resources, pillage and destroy their wealth, and take it for yourself. So
I'm gonna come.
I've been holding back on my soundboard. You don't want me to go. You don't want me to go.
Oh man.
I'm gonna come. So yeah, guys. I want to really talk about actually, I don't want to go into the United States invasion yet, because I actually want to do that like right before we start talking about the nuclear war could potentially happen to us at any time.
I'm gonna step away for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you, chat.
They love you more, I'm sure.
So we'll take a quick 2 minutes then.
Yeah. Everybody want to go to the restroom, get a drink, grab a snack.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes.
Take a little intermission.
We'll talk about the anonymous.
Hold on. Before. Oh, well, no. You already walked away.
Don't.
What? Nah. We'll be right back, chat. Stay right back.
just
Go
leave
get a
it.
drink. Go do whatever. We will be right back.
Where'd everybody go? I guess I'll be right back too.
Oh, shit. All right, guys. I'm Many individuals already lost their loved ones. Yeah, it's very sad. Here's the kitty. Say hi. It's my cat. Oh, cat. I actually gotta pull this up too. There's the anonymous Twitter account. They oh, stop it. Stop biting that.
Oh.
Ready?
Let's yeah. Oh, can you?
I'm back.
Welcome back, princess.
Well, I came back and y'all were gone, so
Come on, man.
All right, so
Come on,
let's go
man.
ahead and
Can y'all hear that?
yeah, I can hear it.
All right, cool.
So here's the anonymous Twitter account. They tweeted on February 24th, the anonymous collective is officially in a cyber
what's
war
the name of your
against
cat?
the
Yes.
Russian government. Say what?
What?
What's your cat's name?
Nero.
Oh, my cat. I don't have a cat.
My cat's name is Nero. Same name as me.
All right. Sorry. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. The
That's an important
anonymous. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this cat is all over me. The anonymous collective has leaked the database of the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia. That actually just
Excellent.
happened on March 1st. They also reported Putin's $97 million luxury yacht called Graceful. A group of anonymous hackers on Saturday figured out a way to mess with the maritime traffic data and made it look like the yacht had crashed into the Ukraine Snake Island that then changed its destination to hell. Yeah, that actually happened.
What a bunch of online trolls. I love
Yeah.
it.
They also hacked the Russian government's website. It was down for a while. Government.ru was down. Russian state TV channels have been hacked and are broadcasting reality of what is happening in Ukraine. So here's the actual video, guys. This is the video that they made threatening Putin. Let's actually take a look at this.
Greetings, citizens of the world. This is a message to Vladimir Putin, from Anonymous. Mr. Putin, The ongoing invasion of Ukraine has shown that your regime has no respect for human rights, or the self-determination of your neighbors. In the past several days, a full-scale invasion has commenced, civilian neighborhoods have been bombed, and innocent people have been killed. Refugees are fleeing the violence and the population is being forced into conscription by Ukrainian officials. This is an ugly situation all around, but you are the instigator. You have criticized the US military and NATO for their occupation and bombardment of the Middle East, which is certainly a fair criticism, but you have shown that you are no better than the imperialist governments that you criticize, and the whole world can see through your propaganda. Even the citizens that you are claiming to protect are entirely against the war and protesting across dozens of major cities in Russia. Your tyrannical response to the Russian anti-war protesters will only spark further unrest among the Russian people, who are suffering the consequences of your foolish actions. The sanctions will hurt your citizens far more than they will hurt you, which is why the sanctions are not a proper deterrent. Now, the most popular resistance will come from within. The police brutality seen in the streets during these demonstrations will only provoke further protests and destroy your credibility even more. This invasion will also begin to create more problems for you on the geopolitical front, as more countries around the world begin to see you as a threat, and an enemy. This is especially true of your neighbors who have maintained a level of neutrality up until now. Finland and Sweden are now expected to join NATO, due to concerns that your ambitions for conquest are much greater than you are willing to admit. If you continue on this path, you will continue to lose support among Russian citizens, other countries around the world will refuse to cooperate with you, and you will face unprecedented cyber attacks from all corners of the world. Members of Anonymous have declared cyber war against your aggressive regime, with numerous government websites being taken offline in the past several days. Downed websites is only the beginning though. Soon you will feel the full wrath of the world's hackers, many of whom will likely reside from your home country. Your secrets may no longer be safe, and there is a chance that key components of your government's infrastructure could be hijacked. Now with the invasion of Ukraine, the previous invasions of Georgia and Crimea are starting to come into focus and show a clear strategy for Russia to recapture key areas that were once held by the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union failed many years ago and the world has not forgotten the brutality of that regime. The people of the world will resist you every step of the way. This is not a war that you can win regardless of how powerful you think you are. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. Expect us.
Whoa. So yeah, guys, that was the Anonymous. That's like been going viral on the internet. Somebody actually mentioned it to chat that they saw this on TikTok. Yeah. So yeah, I would have to say that. I mean, what do you guys think of the Anonymous?
I didn't have anything that I could criticize that he said.
Yeah.
Like, he's not wrong on any.
Also, can't say I'm
He,
surprised
she-
either.
I'm sorry?
Said I can't say
Well-
I'm surprised
well,
either.
let me-
that they-
Let me ask you guys this, because I actually have had multiple people. I've been sharing these videos to people like on stock twits and stuff, and I'm getting a lot of the people responses are like, I'm pretty sure they're from the CIA. Like the Anonymous is the CIA.
I don't think Anonymous is any one thing.
Yeah, no, it's
You don't think CIA?
I think it could
created
be
the
the
Anonymous,
CIA. I think it could be a group of people that call themselves Anonymous. I think it could be a kid in his basement that lives in Canada. I think it could be a group of
Yeah.
people that have nothing better to do with their time and that live in South America. Yeah, there are probably people all over the place. If you want a real accurate representation, if you've seen Star Wars, The Rebellion. It's like that. It's a bunch of little cells that are doing the same task that don't even know exist. More than likely.
Right.
But as far as what he said, he is not wrong. Like, Putin wants to, criticize the West, but it's just like two wrongs don't make a right.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so he's right there. Keys, I've not that I've been recording it or putting it out there, but, I've just been saying to myself that, Crimea, Georgia, those have all been key locations that were held by the Soviet Union. Georgia was the first one, especially because during the Soviet Union, Stalin was from Georgia, so he placed a lot of key strategic things there. So that was why they wanted that first, and then Crimea because of the ports and the military and da 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 da, da, and then the Ukraine because of, like we said, and then the rest of the Soviet Union because, well, that's why they planned it that way, because of all those reasons. And then, you know, people want to criticize the Nazis and whatnot, and don't get me wrong, Nazis were terrible. But the Nazis killed, I think it was 6 million? 6 point something million? Stalin and his regime was like 22 to 27 million.
Yeah.
So it's you just gotta, yeah. I don't even. I mean, I don't even know what to
I hear
say.
you.
Like after those.
Dude. Let me tell you guys. Let's actually talk about what's really been on my mind like all day today. Actually, I don't know if you guys have the same feeling that I've been having about possible nuclear war. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think it's should I be as scared as I am right now? Are you guys scared?
I mean, I'm always scared. I mean, the fact that there's nuclear, that anybody has nuclear power, you've got to be. I wouldn't say scared, but prepared. I guess it's got to be something on your mind, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
one of
something to
those
think
things-
about,
yeah,
but,
it's one of those things you can't let ruin your day. But yeah, you do have to keep in the back of your mind that it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was having conversations with my family about where we could possibly go, and actually pull up this map here. This is a map from modernsurvivalblog.com, but this shows all of the nuclear targets map here in the United States. And I'm just sitting here looking at it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in here in Missouri, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm on
Telling
fire.
me, dude, I'm in Texas.
Yeah, you're down here, right? Yeah, look at Texas is on fire. California's on fire.
I'm in
The
a
whole
undisclosed
east,
location.
everywhere on the east side is on fire. But if you look here, guys, look at this. There is a little
Capsides in
area.
Kansas.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Fuck no, I'm not. God.
No,
It's in
no, no,
Missouri.
look. There is a.
No,
This
it's
this seems to be the safest spot right here, Nebraska and Kansas.
Yeah, but you want to know something? The worst of a nuclear strike is not the initial blast. That's the godsend. The fallout and radiation is the problem.
Yeah.
And
And that's why if you guys could find a bunker here in Nebraska or in Kansas, that's where you want to be.
southern Kansas, yes.
Yeah. Or you go out here in the woods, or I mean, not in the woods, but Idaho. Idaho looks like it's. Oh, you got one.
Yeah,
of those
but you
spots
got
there in
Yellowstone
Nevada.
out there.
Like
Yeah,
Nevada, too.
You know what? It's actually interesting because that's actually where we keep a lot of our nukes. Here in Montana.
And our nuclear reactors.
Here's a very scary situation. Is they're not they would be really stupid to nuke Yellowstone. I mean, not only would that really screw up our country, they could just blow away our whole country by nuking Yellowstone, but that would cause some drastic, like, crap in the entire world. Like, that would just mess everything up, because that's a super volcano. I don't know what nuking a super volcano would do, but I'm sure it's not good.
No, it doesn't sound too
Nukes
great.
it's proven, nuclear tested, that nukes are proven to, on fault lines, to cause earthquakes, or to help induce earthquakes. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
a major fault line. So yeah, I could definitely say. And then considering that also not in close proximity, but considering how large that supervolcano is, that in that northern part of the country, there's like at least 5, I think it's 3 to 5 nuclear power plants. So it's just like one detonation after another.
Somebody said China can invade the U.S. any minute now. I'm going to tell you guys my theory of how you guys can invade the United States.
Don't do
Me
that.
too.
Don't give anybody ideas.
Oh, I've already thought of it too.
Yeah, here. So let me tell you guys, this is my scenario. We can all have our own scenarios. We'll go through all of them. So here's my
All right.
scenario. So as you guys could see, this is the United
But
States.
don't do this, okay? Don't do it.
What?
No, this is
It's
not.
just a scenario.
This is just a fun,
Yeah, just a
fun war
scenario.
game.
So you guys actually know we actually have a bunch of military bases along here in the Caribbeans. And that's like our line of defense here in the Gulf of Mexico, because I believe this is actually our biggest weakness. So what Russia could do, or even China could do, is they could nuke here. They would nuke the Caribbeans. So that way they could be able to get their ships in here, pass all in, and basically go up what I would call the asshole of the United States, which is the Mississippi River. So they would take over New Orleans. That would be the city to take over, which New Orleans is probably one of the worst cities in the country to live in, at least one of the major cities. Mississippi is also the poorest country, and Louisiana. Like these two states are, yeah, they are the weakest links of the bunch of the United States. So if they could take over these two states, I would say, and then they would use the Missouri River to take their ships, because the Missouri River is a pretty big river. You could get your ships all the way up through the United States.
That's the Mississippi.
Or I'm sorry, not Missouri. The Mississippi River. Sorry. Yeah. The Mississippi River, yeah, it goes all the way up through Memphis.
Right.
St. Louis.
Okay.
All the way
So
up.
and then from where? What do they go?
Minneapolis.
Where do they go from there?
And then they would probably nuke the entire East Coast and the West Coast. Like the coasts are going to get nuked.
Why?
And then I would say
always
Kansas City, Denver, if they nuke those, they would be nuking those, hoping that, I mean, if they're smart, the weather pass, if you're trying to take out like our farm or crops, like that's where all of our crops are. So they would definitely be nuking in this area as well.
Okay. Is that so? That's your theory? And complete?
Yes, that's it.
All right, J-Pat, what you got?
I don't have a theory, to be honest with you. I
What
don't know.
would-
I
what
mean,
what do you think? What do you think would be a smart move? What would you do if you had the button?
well, I mean, I would probably go with DAP. I mean, I think Louisiana is a good start. And, taking out Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, or even
And
moving in
Cuba,
from
I guess-
Florida. Even
And
moving in
I
from
forgot
Florida.
to mention this, guys. They use Cuba as a, they have reliance with Cuba. Russia does that. They can
Yeah.
actually import. That's
I
they
mean,
have
yeah,
bases
even
there.
entering through Florida would be
I'm
a
telling you
possibility.
guys, dude, it is a possible invasion. Like, dude, they are not that far from Cuba.
Mhm.
Russia has bases on Cuba.
Is that it?
Go ahead. I know you're
Oh, I'm itching.
anxious.
I'm itching.
Let's hear it.
Yeah,
So,
let's hear
I'm
it.
gonna go at your theory first, and then I'll lay mine out. So the problem with your theory is, or well, let me ask you this before I answer.
We're not planning for Russia, by the way. This is all we're just talking.
I was
okay?
just
This
about
is
to
all
say what
discussions.
country involved. What country?
I'm speaking to the chat right now.
Y'all
Your
look like planning for Russia.
Your hypothetical.
We're just
invasion,
having discussions.
Which
This is all
which
discussions.
countries are
This is all
involved?
hypothetical.
Just Russia?
Let's get back to what we were talking about.
That's what I said. In your hypothetical, which countries are involved? Is it just Russia?
Russia or China, yeah.
Is it Russia and China, or just Russia?
Well, it's
You need to be
Russia,
clear.
China. It's Russia, China, Iran, and maybe North Korea.
Okay. All right. So in your theory, Russia Russian troops, Russian ships, Russian military, Chinese, Iranian, and all those troops have to come through the either the Norwegian Sea, Baltic, or the Baltic Sea, the Mediterranean, or the Cape of Horn, which are all territories of NATO. Okay. So
they would have to nuke those first.
no nukes. It's nukes. God, stop with the nukes. Okay, stop with the nukes. Okay, I will poke your nukes theory to fucking Kingdom Hill here in just a second. But let me get through where I'm at. I'm just saying they have to travel very far distance that direction to get to those ports, or to get to those areas. They will be detected before they even get close.
Yeah.
So, that right there just dissolves your whole theory. But let's just say that somehow, some way, they sneak by every which way fashion, and they get to the bases and the area.
They have to get to Cuba.
They get to Cuba, the Bahamas, the Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands,
Or Venezuela.
the Guantanamo, all those things. They gotta get through all that. Okay. First off, taking New Orleans first is dumb. I wouldn't take New Orleans first if that's the direction I'm coming from. I'm taking the Panama Canal. Why? To cut off the United States' other navy. So I take Panama, cut off the United States Navy, make it take them 6 months to go around South America to get over here. Because if I hold Panama, they ain't getting through.
And they could get to Panama easily from Venezuela.
Panama would be
or
easier
Cuba.
and more easy. You could easily take Panama more so than you could take United States sovereign soil.
Yeah.
So I would take Panama first, come through the south, because then once you take Panama, Chinese ships sail from the Pacific and could meet you.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you
then
can
the
come up that
Chinese-
direction, which is my plan. So that's where I'll get into my plan. My plan, if I was them, would be to feint an Atlantic Sea attack. Take, a couple unneeded units, ships, whatever, start heading this direction, get detected, send your real force from the Pacific, take Panama, cut off the Navy, and cut in half, but come from the west. Western seaboard. Why do you come from the western seaboard, you may ask? Go up, please. If you take the ports of San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, 3 major ports, all 3 semi-decently close together in the south. You take those, and you have all major highways, access to all the major highways leading out to the cities, or all the, infrastructure. It's not much up north. It's hard to defend because it's heavily wooded area. But once you get past the forests and the valleys in California, past Los Angeles and San Diego, you pretty much have a wide valley for tank divisions to just blow through in the desert.
Yep.
And
you
once
could
they reach Texas, West Texas, it's pretty much the same. I mean, they have the mountains and stuff, but they can go around it. And they hit Kansas wide open. Then they can reach, and once they hit the Mississippi, they can hold the Mississippi and go for negotiations, because they hold the entire West Coast, which is where most of our power, the Hoover Dam, which provides most of the power, most of our food, a lot of citizenry, a lot of shit's over here in the West, but it's not as heavily populated, and not necessarily defended, but it's just more sparsed out, so reaction forces would take longer to get to, whereas on the eastern seaboard, everything's close together. Washington D.C., Baltimore, Pittsburgh, all that's close. You can get to all those cities within an hour or two.
Yeah.
20 minutes by helicopter. Jet, 5 seconds. But in the western parts of the country, flying from Las Vegas to Los Angeles in a jet is going to take you 15-20 minutes. Even fucking burning your shit.
Yeah, and you could see possibly, Russia or China was trying to make deals with the Mexican cartel.
Right. I was
Yeah.
just going to say, that's a quite possibility, giving them money to, do guerrilla tactics on the border, sure. Because if you tie up the Texas National Guard and forces of the, United States military on the border down there, then you hold them off from advancing towards California and stopping that advance. Because you want to hold them before they can get into that open territory in Nevada. Because if they get out of the valleys in California, it's going to be hard to stop. You have to stop them in the valleys of the Californias.
Yeah.
So that's just my hypothetical.
No, I hear you. So there's your theories on how to invade the United States. They're actually, I think that's...
None of us have gone to school for military science or
We're
joined
not
and
in
have
the KGB.
served
Take
or
all of this
anything
with a
like
grain
that.
of salt.
This is
Yeah.
all just banter. So you guys, hope you enjoy it.
Shay Young or whatever.
Guys,
Not
be sure
suspicious.
to subscribe. If you enjoying this, find this entertaining, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We are now up to 28 subscribers. We
Appreciate
got
all you
16
guys.
people watching,
We got
47
46
likes.
likes on the video. Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate it. If you got any questions for us to throw in the next week's stream, throw it on us. We'll hopefully put it in there.
Yeah, and tell us where all y'all are from.
Yes, please.
Drop a comment.
You don't
in the
gotta
chat, drop
put
a
your
comment on
address or
the-
anything, but just general location would be great. Like,
Country.
Well, yeah, what country?
Country
you
or
from?
state.
We're
yeah.
definitely
That works.
interested in our following and the people that are viewing.
So our last topic of the day is the State of the Union. So let's go ahead and watch this.
I have not seen it.
I haven't either. This is this is the full thing?
This is like the beginning. Like, this is the most important part because the rest, he talks about the economy and shit. This is about Russia.
6 days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people.
A mall.
We love you. You're very special.
To every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage, their determination literally inspires the world. Groups of citizens blocking
Sorry,
tanks
sorry,
with their bodies.
That was some good time.
Everyone from students to retirees to teachers turned soldiers.
Don't be rude.
Their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's bright, she's strong, and she's resolved.
I don't like doing paperwork,
Aw.
and I don't like sitting in the office. It was taking up too much time, and I wanted to find a different.
Oh man.
Yes. To stand with the Ukrainian people. Throughout our history, we've learned this lesson. When dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to America and America to the world keeps rising. That's why the NATO alliance was created, to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II. The United States is a member, along with 29 other nations. It matters. American diplomacy matters. American resolve matters. Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy. He thought the West and NATO wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian and African continents, to confront Putin. Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies. We shared with the world in advance what we knew Putin was planning and precisely how he would try to falsify and justify his aggression. We countered Russia's lies with the truth. And now that he's acted, the free world is holding him accountable, along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and many others. Even Switzerland are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people of Ukraine. Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been. Together, along with our allies, we are right now enforcing powerful economic sanctions. We're cutting off Russia's largest banks from the international financial system, preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble, making Putin's $630 billion war fund worthless. We're choking Russia's access. To technology that will sap its economic strength and weaken its military for years to come. Tonight, I say to the Russian oligarchs and the corrupt leaders who bilk billions of dollars off this violent regime, no more. The United States, I mean it. The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
So wait, he's cutting off all Russian flights. Anybody?
He has no idea what's coming.
Flying in?
He has no idea.
The ruble has already lost 30% of its value. The Russian stock market has lost 40% of its value. And trading remains suspended.
But, all right.
The Russian economy is reeling, and Putin alone is the one to blame. Together with our allies, we're providing support to the Ukrainians in their fight for freedom. Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and will continue to aid the Ukrainian people as they defend their country and help ease their suffering. But let me be clear. Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Every single inch. And we're clear-eyed. The Ukrainians are fighting back with pure courage. But the next few days, weeks, and months will be hard on them. Putin has unleashed violence and chaos. But while he may make gains on the battlefield, he'll pay a continuing high price over the long run. And a pound of Ukrainian people, proud, proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have. They've known 30 years of independence, have repeatedly shown that they will not tolerate anyone who tries to take their country backwards.
That's it, guys.
There are two types of lizard
So
or
I actually have
reptilian.
another video real quick. This is showing this is Vladimir Putin's response to that address. You guys ready for this?
Страны предпринимают.
Let me rewind this.
Уважаемые коллеги, вы видите, что западные страны
How do
предпринимают не
Western
только
countries take unfriendly
недружественные
measures
действия в отношении
against our
нашей
country in
страны
the
в
economic
экономической сфере,
dimension?
я имею в виду
I mean,
нелегитимные
the
санкции,
legal
о которых все
sanctions
хорошо
that
знают,
everyone knows
но
about very well, but
высшие
also the top
должностные
officials
лица
of leading
ведущих
NATO
стран НАТО
countries allow
допускают
themselves
и
to make
агрессивные
aggressive statements
высказывания
with
в
regards to our
адрес
country.
нашей страны. Поэтому
That is why I ordered Defense Minister and Chief of General
приказываю министру
Staff
обороны и начальнику генерального штаба
to put
перевести
Russian Army
силы
defense
сдерживания
forces
российской
on
армии
high
в режим,
combat alert.
в особый режим несения боевого дежурства.
So he's basically saying he's putting his nuclear arsenal on high alert.
I mean, that just signals to the world that he's putting his ace card down. I don't understand why you would play.
Yeah, I mean, I think are we taking that as a threat, or are we taking that as, hey, I have a nuclear weapon, just to remind you? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we taking that as, oh, okay, are you gonna actually are you actually thinking about launching it, or are you doing this just to remind us that you have nuclear power? Are you actually gonna launch it?
The only thing that concerns me is that Putin has said before that if war is inevitable, and this is like quote unquote, if war is inevitable, that then you have to make the first punch. So if he thinks that a nuclear war is inevitable, then he is going to launch the first nuke. Or nukes, 6,000 of them.
James?
What's the question?
Well, I mean, I guess there wasn't really a question. I was just your thoughts on what we just spoke about.
Well, I mean, I just didn't know if you guys were
Your
trying to
thoughts.
My thought is you know, Biden says what he says, and then Putin comes back, and it's kind of like, see, like I've said from the past, I like to look up a lot of World War II and war history, and I like to play a lot of war game, like RTS games and simulation. And in my head, I'm thinking here that all Biden really said, in my opinion, is that we're not gonna. Sorry, there's a dog hair or something in my mouth. Is that we're not going to directly involve. We're gonna help the Ukraine. So we're gonna give them money and whatever they could ask for, I guess. But as far as anything else goes, our troops aren't going to move in, so you kind of have free reign. We're kind of letting you take that territory. But if you keep going, be prepared to meet what's going to be there when you get there. And so, in my head, if I was the opposition, my response is not, if we're having a conversation, I'm not going to pull a gun out and put it to your head. Because that's the same thing. That's your trump card. Why are you playing your ace right then? And all he did was say, we're going to defend our territory. And you can basically, we're going to support you, we're openly supporting Ukraine versus sending them money and saying we're not, which everybody's done for the past however many years when it comes to those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of just are gonna, you gotta do, you're gonna kind of get away with it because we're not gonna be able to openly engage you. But if you cross that line, I have full reign. I have full power to do so, kind of. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. And so, but I get what you're saying with the whole Putin first strike kind of thing. But I guess I never really got to the whole nukes thing. And while I don't think nukes are ever really an option, it's more of
a deterrent.
Not necessarily a deterrent. It's just like,
Definitely not a deterrent because it's there.
It's there, but
it's definitely an option.
Oh, it's always an option, but it's just one of those things where.
But the thing is that it's not an option that you could actually
not a viable
win.
Option because it's just like once
nobody
you launch
wins
a single nuke in any direction, you have then brought upon you just as many nukes, if not more. And what's the benefit from that? What's the outcome going to be from that every single time?
I think it's actually more viable to see Russia nuking like Europe.
The only nuke I see going off is a nuke going off above atmosphere, which destroys electronics, which is an atmospheric EMP.
Yeah,
which is
that's
a
another
form of nuke, but it goes off above atmosphere. There's no fallout, and it just basically destroys all technologies above 1950s-ish.
Well, let me ask you this: if Russia nuked, let's say, Great Britain or France or Germany, would the United States nuke Russia?
I think the question you have to go back to, though, is why would Russia nuke that area?
Well, because Putin would, the only reason why Putin would use a nuke is he would think that I could use the nuke and the United States won't do anything about it. And the chances of that happening is greatly by not nuking the United States, by nuking our allies instead. Because then it puts us in a position where he's not nuking us. So why, if we nuke him, then then it gives him the reason to nuke us.
But other countries other than us have nukes. We're not the sole country that has nukes.
Exactly.
So I'm sure if France got nuked, France is going to be like, I don't give a shit what Biden has to say. I don't care what you NATO fuckers have to say. I just got nuked. I'm going to send one back.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess the NATO treaty is, attack on one is attack on all. So
all of them to react.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they can.
So that should deter Putin from shooting at us, because.
But what I'm saying is going back to one of my original statements when it comes to war and conquering and stuff is the whole purpose of conquering and having a war is to consolidate the resources and the manpower and the infrastructure and the everything that's built up there. Yeah, and the inevitability of war, things get damaged or destroyed and you have to rebuild them, fine. But a nuke, that just wipes it off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And then any of the people that you possibly could have had on your side that were in that country that just got nuked, you have no chance in hell of getting them to be on your side in a peaceful way. And we have seen time and time and time and time and time again that having people live in fear and tyranny and hellish conditions is never going to work in a regime. It always, always, always fails eventually. Sure, it may work a couple years. Sure, it may work a couple decades, but eventually it falls.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that nukes, yes, you think of them strategically, but you also have to think of them on a geopolitical scale as well. Because you nuke anything, people already have a negative stereotype of nuclear power. Think about a nuclear warfare bomb going off and any one person or country using it. Anybody and everybody in the world is going to have an instant negative view on you. It's like a game I play on. It's called Civ.
Yeah.
Sid Meier's Civ. It's a very popular game. You start in the Middle Age or start in the Stone Age and you work all your way up. But the first person to launch a nuke automatically gets negative 99 diplomacy to every other player in the game. So, and
well, there you go, folks.
Same concept.
Yeah.
Even if a country or allies or wars or whatever, you got to think of the people that live there, what their opinion is, because that's inevitably, no matter how big the regime can be toppled by, the regime is what, let's even say 100,000 thousands of people in the regime holding it together and government officials. There's millions of people that live in Russia. If Russia nuked Ukraine and the people were just absolutely against it, it wouldn't take anything for them to turn it over.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to think of it more, less from a strategical and warfarical standpoint, and more of on a geopolitical and on a humanistic level.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go, folks. I'm gonna probably wrap it up here because I gotta get up early.
This one went a little long, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, I think it was perfect.
I
think it was perfect amount of timing.
I'll as I record this, I'll edit and have like a small clip tomorrow. I'll send it to you for you to post.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here.
Yep.
You guys hang out for just a second. I'm gonna end the stream real quick.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys being here. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and then also give us a comment, even if it's a silly comment or a rude or whatever.
We love all of you.
Commentary at this point.
Thanks for all the support.
Nah, just kidding.
Y'all keep watching our streams and our videos. We'll be posting more often. We love you.
Tune in next week. We'll be at same time next week.
Same time.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Have a good